right, we're back with an exciting video, as always. This one's a little different, though. With a special guest, Mr. Matt Russell, who gave me a call. And it's always exciting when old students come back to come and say hi and things. So I had a call. I was out of town last week. Got a message that Matt Russell called, wanted to come by. So, okay, so nobody probably knows who Matt Russell is, but I do. And he's a former student who started with me, I think, when he was in 4th grade, and had him as a student probably till right around freshman year. And then I think COVID came, and we stopped, and then he was getting into marching band and all that stuff. So now he's I think he's a junior now, and he calls me, and he's got a car, and he comes by. So it's always fun to see former students come back, and they look so much older, and they're taller than me, and all that stuff. And you knew them when they were little. But so Matt was always pretty good. You know, that's the thing. Even when he was little, he's one of those students, rare, who always kind of had chops. And he had technique that was just sort of, he's kind of born with, because he started lessons, and automatically I can see his fingers worked right, his wrists worked correctly, there wasn't a lot of arm motion. And so because of that, he had really good single strokes, even as a young kid, which was impressive. So I was curious because I hadn't seen him in a while. I knew he would be good, and he would chime in every once in a while on some of my videos. I did the Neil Peart video with the Phil from Bytor and the Snow Dog, and he made a comment that he liked the video and that he was working on that. And then, of course, he also made a comment that he wasn't as interested in the Sango video, and which I was disappointed with. So he needs to work on the Sango. But so he didn't like that one as much, or he didn't listen to it. I don't know which. Maybe he didn't like it, so he didn't listen to it. But you got to listen to the Sango. And I think I told him to listen to the Sango before we left. But anyway, so one of the things we used to do was, and I do this with a lot of students, and I recommend doing it. You don't need another drummer to do this with. You can do this at home. Is you trade bars, right? It's very common in jazz. And even if you're not familiar with jazz, there's another a bad word to mention, jazz, right? Don't turn the video off. So a lot of times in jazz, you'll hear, oh, we're going to trade 4's, we're going to trade 8's, we're going to trade 16. It's very common to trade solos. Very foreign in rock. We don't do that in rock, right? There is no trading of solos. They do it a little bit in YYZ, kind of, right? He trades 2-bar solos, sort of. Geddy Lee plays a 2-bar solo, then Neil plays a 2-bar solo, and they kind of go back and forth for a little bit. But in jazz, it's super common to play 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars. And I remember back in school, there were a couple rooms that had 2 drum sets in it, and I don't know if it was something we did because we had to do it or we wanted to. I don't remember the reasoning, but I remember we would trade 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars. 4 bars, 4 bars, 8 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, 16 bars, start over. And it was probably a exercise that we were told to do or something. I don't remember. But I do remember it's a lot of fun, and it develops not only your timekeeping, because you got to keep track of where you're at, and it also develops your chops, right? And your vocabulary and your sort of that, what do they say it? It's the vocal thing where you do something and then the other person does it, sort of the talk back thing. So you're communicating with the other person, or you're listening and then you're playing off of them, right? So there's an expression for it. I can't think of it. Anyway, so I used to do this with my students a lot, and it's a lot of fun. You can do it at home. You can play 4 bars at a time. It doesn't have to be jazz. You'll see in the video we don't play jazz at all. We're just playing rock. Play 4 bars at a time, 4-bar solo. 4 bars at a time, 4-bar solo. If you can get together with a bass player, you can do it with him. You can do it with a piano player. It's a lot of fun, and it helps both players. But if you don't have someone to do it with, you can certainly do it by yourself. 4 bars a time, improv, right? 4-bar solo. 4 bars a time, 4-bar solo. When I saw him, he said, let's do 8-bar solos. I don't remember what he said. I don't think he said 16. I think he said 8. I said, let's just do 4 for right now. So that's what you're going to see. He came in, we talked a little, we had a good time. He's a big fan of Rush, so we talked about some Rush songs. I gave him some stuff. But more important than the Rush stuff, I think, is that he's able to trade 4s. He's not necessarily counting 4 measures, he's feeling the 4 measures, which is super important to be able to feel them, because you can't count them at the speed that you're going, especially in up-tempo jazz. You feel the bars, the 4s, the 8s, the 16s go by. So that has to be practiced. You have to practice these groupings and these groups of 4, 8, and 16 bars, measures, whatever you call them. So anyway, so this is a little bit of me and Mr. Matt, who came in and tore it up, and he's a good student, good player, good guy. He's also a good athlete as well. I believe he runs track, and I often told him to run to the school, and he never did that, but he should. But it's not in the rain. I suggest it's too soggy. Not a good idea. Once your socks get wet, you're in trouble. But okay. Anyway, so there you go. Here we go. Me and Matt Russell trading 4s. At one point, Matt, I didn't hear him. I saw it in the video playback. He says last one, and I didn't hear him, so I kept playing. So there's a part where he stops playing because he thinks I heard him say last one, but I didn't. So it wasn't his fault. It was my fault. I wasn't listening to the other player like I should have been. But anyway, practice trading 4s. Not only is it fun, but it's super helpful. And then you could also practice trading 8s, which is one thing he wanted to do. We didn't. Maybe next time. And then you could practice 16s. I think you could practice even 32-bar solos as well. So they're fun to do, super important. I think it's more important than learning the Rush song. I know I shouldn't say that because I'll get people who hate me. But I think the ability to practice and trade is a really cool concept, and you could always learn the Rush song. But good exercise to start incorporating in your playing. Practice. Next up, Mr. Matt Russell, trading 4s. See you next time. This is take 1, because we only do 1 take. Ain't that right, Matt Russell?
Yes, that's right.
We only need 1. If you do 2, you're doing it wrong. All right, trading 4s, right? I think. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
You'll go first. All right, ready? Give me a tempo. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Nicely done. Fist pump. Mr. Matt Russell, the one and only.